Hello everyone, this is Methyl Kaiju, and today in this video we'll be going over the Godzilla vs. Kong box office. So this is going to be a very important video. Why? Because we obviously all want hashtag continue the Monsterverse, right? You probably already know about that hashtag. Just spread it around. It'll be very, very good. But yeah, we do want the Monsterverse to continue. And as Wingard and Warner Brothers and Legendary has made very clear, if this movie does good, the Monsterverse will continue. So let us analyze this, and because of that, let's also have a very clear mind. Let's not be optimists. Let's not be pessimists. We gotta look at this objectively, look at the numbers, and that's exactly what we'll be doing in this very video. We'll be going over the opening weekend numbers in China, as well as some other regions, and just the total foreign markets so far, and also some current predictions for the total box office. So let us begin. Now this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and according to them, and also a lot of other sources, Godzilla vs. Kong has so far made 122 million in the foreign market, which is actually very good. It is less than King of the Monsters though. King of the Monsters made, I believe, 130 million. So this is 8 million less, but it is still in that same range, which is actually very, very impressive. And as this article also mentions, it is the best so far during this pandemic era. So good job on you, Godzilla vs. Kong. And just to give you a measure as to some of those regions, for example, India made $4.8 million, which is actually a really fantastic number. Like, objectively, that's a really fantastic number. In Taiwan, it also made 5.2 million, which is also an objectively amazing number. Now let's go on to China, which is obviously the biggest market so far in the foreign market, and potentially even in the whole world, including domestic. And it's also one of the two indicators for Warner Brothers whether this movie succeeds and if it's enough to greenlight other movies for the Monsterverse. So according to this article, China has made $70.3 million in its opening weekend, which is around the same level as King of the Monsters. It is more actually than King of the Monsters if you exclude previews. If you include previews, it is less, but the fact it's in that range is actually very impressive. But it is less than Kong Skull Island. Just to put it out there, I do think this movie could have easily made 85 million in China opening weekend. But we have 70.3 million. That's fine. I think 70.3 million is still very good in my opinion. Hopefully in the opinion of all of you guys, it's also very good. So that is the foreign markets. And I just want to get this out there right now, that just because it's made half its budget already does not mean this movie is a success automatically. I mean, that's like the bare minimum. If you want your movie not to flop, then have it gross half its budget in the opening weekend. If it doesn't do that, then your movie's probably going to be a box office disappointment, flop, bomb, whatever other term you want to use. So it's the bare minimum, not anything to write home about. Now let's get on to the total box office, including domestic, which I'm not sure how this one source is able to predict domestic as well, which would be crucial to predict the total box. I don't know, but this does come from a pretty reliable person. It's only one projection though, so you can believe it or not, but that Godzilla vs. Kong will make around $300 to $350 million total, which in my opinion is a very good number. If it makes that range, I would be very proud of this movie, and I think Warner Brothers will also be very proud of this movie as well. Do I think it's going to make 350 million? I doubt it. I think it will make around 310 million, 300 million, honestly. If I had to be completely honest, I know a lot of people out here are telling me $500 million. No, it's not making $500 million. $400 million? No, I don't think it's going to make $400 million either. I just want to make very clear, the box office is not linear, it's not exponential, it is logarithmic. It plateaus at some points. It increases, and then it starts to, I guess you can say, decrease, or at least its slope decreases. So, because of that, and because this is also the Monsterverse, where it is predominantly a very front-heavy series, and also keep in mind HBO Max is coming out, which will also add to the legs being cut off, I don't think this movie has a chance to make $400 million. I really don't see it. $350 million, maybe, but I also doubt that a lot too. $300 million, I think that's actually very feasible. I think in China, it could make a total of, say, 150 million. I think that's a pretty good guess, maybe even for 140 if I had to be even more realistic. But let's just go with 150 million. Domestic, very challenging because of, you know, the HBO Max, but also there's no competition. But let's just say it makes 100 million, which would be absolutely amazing, actually. That would be really, really good. But let's say it makes 100 million. That's already $250 million right there. Then tack on 50 million because of the other regions that are not China and the US, and boom, you have $300 million right there. I don't really see how it can make more than that. I mean, if you think it makes more than that, just tell me in the comments below. Where do you think that money comes from, though? Because I don't see US making more than $100 million. I think that's even a big stretch, in my opinion, but I'm just doing it for the sake of this video. And China, 150 million, I think is also like the max it can possibly get. I don't see us making $200 million over there whatsoever. So, again, if you think this movie is going to make more than $300 million, and I mean considerably more, then tell me in the comments below, where do you think that money comes from? I just do not see how it could do that. Sure, it's overperforming in a lot of different regions, but China, aka the biggest market apart from domestic, is not one of them. These regions are smaller, okay, in terms of their box office. I mean, for example, Taiwan, 5.2 million, amazing for the region, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty small in the grand scheme of things. So, I just don't see how it makes any higher than 300 million. 320 million maybe, 330 million, I don't know, 350 million, doubt it, really, really doubt it. But those are just my thoughts. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would absolutely love to be wrong about this. I want this movie to make $1 billion. It's obviously not going to make $1 billion, but I would love to be wrong in this case. But I just do not see how it could be over $300 million, personally. But either way, I think $300 million would be very good. And Warner Brothers, I think, would consider it a success. And that would grant the continuation of the Monsterverse. The reason why I say that is because, first of all, Warner Brothers has made clear they're looking at China. And I think so far China is doing pretty good. 70 million. And total, maybe 150. That would be good. They also said that if it makes more than Wonder Woman 1984, that means it's probably a success. And guess what? 300 million is much higher than Wonder Woman's gross, which I believe is 180 or something. I'm going to put it up there. But it's that. I think it will definitely make above that. So I just think even if it doesn't make $300 million, if it makes 290 or something, I think they will still greenlit the continuation of the Monsterverse. So I think in conclusion, this movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, is doing pretty good in the box office, and the Monsterverse will continue. I would say I'm like 80% sure, honestly, if I had to guess. So those are my thoughts. Please tell me in the comments below what are your thoughts. Do you think this movie is making $300 million? Do you think it's making higher? If so, how exactly? Do you think it's doing good? Do you think it's doing amazing? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. And here am I rambling here. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and comments. This is Metal Kaiju signing out.